wisdom,
prudentia,
justice,
justitia,
temperance,
temperantia,
courage.
fortitudo.
Applying ancient philosophy to modern life, this is the Sunday Stoic.
Welcome to the Sunday Stoic Podcast. I'm Steve. Thank you for joining me as we explore this ancient philosophy and its application to modern life. We are continuing our exploration of the Enchiridion this episode with reading number 7, and the best title I can come up with for this episode is Be Ready. Always be ready. When I was a young man, I was in Civil Air Patrol. It's the civilian auxiliary of the U.S. Air Force. And we trained for search and rescue missions and learned about aerospace education and things. And our motto was Semper Vigilance, which is always vigilant, always ready, always paying attention. And that is what Epictetus is trying to remind us to do in this reading. So once again, we're working our way through the handbook, or Enchiridion. I say of Epictetus. He didn't actually write it. It's notes from one of his students. But we can assume that he said these words or something very similar that was then transcribed by Arian, his student. So before we jump into the reading, I just want to thank my patrons for helping to support the show. You can sign up at patreon.com/SundayStoic, and there are rewards, including the Sunday Stoic Challenge coin, which if you don't want to be a patron, you can support me by just buying one on Etsy. I'll put a link in the show description as well. But either way, thanks for your support and for listening. I hope you get something out of these episodes. And without further ado, the Enchiridion.
The Enchiridion, Chapter 7. When you are on a voyage, and your ship is at anchorage, and you disembark to get fresh water, you may pick up a small shellfish or a truffle by the way, but you must keep your attention fixed on the ship, and keep looking towards it constantly, to see if the helmsman calls you. And if he does, you have to leave everything, or be bundled on board with your legs tied like a sheep. So it is in life. If you have a dear wife, or a child given you, they are like the shellfish or the truffle. They are very well in their way. Only, if the helmsman call, run back to your ship. Leave all else and do not look behind you. And if you are old, never go far from the ship, so that when you are called you may not fail to appear.
This is kind of a strange reading where he's comparing our lives to shore leave, the time that a sailor would spend on shore when the ship is temporarily docked at port. So my interpretation of this reading is that life, life is the time we spend on shore, whereas the time we spent dead, so before we are born and after we are born, is our voyage on the ship. Now, I don't know what exactly Epictetus thought of afterlife or what happens when you're dead or what happened before you were alive, if he thought we continued on in existence or not. But the idea is he definitely believed in a higher power. And so the idea being we are told by our captain to go on shore and enjoy yourself, but you're going to come back. You're going to return. And when you do so, you want to do so willingly. You don't want to be dragged on board. You want to say farewell to everything you know, get on the ship, and depart peacefully. And that's our goal as practitioners of Stoicism is to accept the things outside our power. And death, that return to the ship, is something that will happen. Either we can do so willingly and happily, or we can scream and moan and, in essence, be drugged back on board. He also says, when you're on shore, you might, get some shellfish or pick up an onion or whatever. And this is kind of like the things we enjoy in life, our family, our possessions. Not to belittle them, but we have to remember that they are their own entities that have their own lives to live, and we will have to depart from them at some point. And no matter how much we love them, no matter how much we cling to them, we're still getting back on that boat. And so we can end our days happy with the time we got to spend with these wonderful people, or these objects, as he describes, the things you might pick up on shore leave. Be happy we got to see them, then get on board and leave. Or we can lament, scream, moan, and spend our last few moments in discontent. And what we're trying to do is accept reality here. Not to be cold, unfeeling monsters, but to accept reality. One day, we know we got to get back on that boat. It might be today. It might be in 50 years. It might be in 100 years. So enjoy your time that you have on shore in this life. Enjoy the people and the things you see. But remember that one day you will have to depart. And when it's time to go, be ready to do so willingly. All right, well, something to think about. One of the ways to prepare for this is, of course, memento mori, thinking about future evils to come, as it were. Although, maybe evil isn't the right word to use here, but future difficult situations and how you might deal with them. Other things we can do is very practical things, like work out our living wills and our last will and testament, that sort of thing. So something to think about. I don't know much about that because I myself haven't done those things yet. But we can prepare practically and emotionally. But we don't want to think about it in such a way that it makes us anxious or upset, where it makes us more likely to cling to the objects on shore. So approach it the best way you can, and remind yourself that, remember, one day you will die. So therefore, until then, we need to, what's coming, seize the day. Carpe diem.
Thank you for listening to the Sunday Stoic. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, rate, and review the Sunday Stoic on iTunes. Become a member of the Sunday Stoic team, earn rewards, and be an integral part of the show by becoming a patron at www.patreon.com/SundayStoic. Contact the show by emailing sundaystoic@gmail.com or by leaving a voicemail at 501-503-3132. To find out more, visit www.sundaystoicpodcast.com. And as Steve always says, Carpe Diem.